Shirinimbo.
Community of Bodhisattvas. At that time, the Taiwan was absorbed in the concentration of the categories. All the categories of phenomena called profound perception. Also, at that time, Bodhisattva, the very practice of the profound perfection of wisdom, and beheld those five aggregates also as empty and nature. Then, through the power of Buddha, the Venerable Shariputra said this to the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Yalabhakteshwara: how should any son of a lineage train who wishes to practice the activity of the profound perfection of wisdom? He said that, and the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Yalabhakteshwara said this to the Venerable Shariputra: any son of the lineage or daughter of the lineage who wishes to practice the activity of the profound perfection of wisdom should look upon it like this correctly and repeatedly behold it also as nature, inherent nature, forms, empty emptiness of form, emptiness of form, in the same way, feeling discrimination, conditional factors of empty. Shariputra, likewise, all phenomena of emptiness, without characteristic, unproduced, unceased, stateless, not without stain, perfection is not fulfilled. Therefore, in emptiness there is no feeling of discrimination.
Similarly, there is no suffering, origin, cessation, and path. There is no exalted wisdom, no attainment, and also no non-attainment, Shariputra. Therefore, because there is no attainment, Bodhisattvas rely on and dwell in the perfection of wisdom, the mind without obscuration and without fear. Having completely passed beyond error, they have reached the end point of Nirvana. All the Buddhas who dwell in the three times also manifestly, completely awakened to unsurpassable, perfect, complete enlightenment in reliance on the perfection of wisdom. Therefore, the mantra of the perfection of wisdom, the mantra of great knowledge, the unsurpassed mantra, the mantra equal to the mantra that thoroughly pacifies all suffering, should be known as truth, since it is not false. The mantra of the perfection of wisdom is declared that Shariputra, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva, should train in the profound perfection wisdom like that. Then the Bhagavan arose from that concentration and commanded the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Yalabhakteshwara, saying, well said, son of the lineage, it is like that, it is like that. One should practice the profound perfection of wisdom, just as you have indicated. Even the Tathagatas rejoice. The Bhagavan, having said thus, thus spoken, the Venerable Sharadvatiputra, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Yalabhakteshwara, those surrounding in their entirety, along with the world of gods, humans, asuras, and Gandharvas, were overjoyed and highly praised that spoken by the Buddha, Bhagavan.
Masam Jimmy, Shira Parajin, Maje Menga Naga Ngoni, Sozo Rari, Tusun Gave Yon Lo Chaza Lo, Teada, Gade, Parasam, Buddhi So, Teada, Gade, Parasam, Buddhi So, Teada, Gade, Parasam, Buddhi So.
Salutation verse from Abhisamaya Alamkara, Lord Maitreya. I prostrate to the mother of Buddhas and of the hearers and bodhisattvas who, through the knowledge of all, leads hearers seeking purification and complete peace, who, through knowledge of paths, cause those helping migrators to achieve the aims of the world, and through possession of which the subduers set forth the varieties having all aspects. Next is the salutation verse from Madhyamaka Karika of Arya Nagarjuna. I prostrate to the perfect Buddha, the best of teachers, who taught that whatever is dependent origin is not ceasing, unborn, non-annihilated, impermanent, not coming, without distinction, without identity, free from conceptual construction.
Atari, and a Dushatsu in the Kanza, Sash of Chazan Stembari, Tsagan Dinalia, Sash of Gagatolia, Temple to Tanguri. I also chose.
So while I was doing the preliminary ritual for this initiation, you have recited, the Taiwanese, the Chinese have recited the text of the Nagarjuna's fundamental stanzas of the middle way called Wisdom, and it is the first time that this has been recited in this prayer, in this temple in Chinese. It has been very good.
Kurang ruzangane kaina tuachidi da kada chik jawachto chene ini ngani da lobeji jujenge konre ngani de saji nga sakhashi tobri saji ngani damsala de tobi no didu ene ngani da dishaya chi kasore ngani tamjarchi ene maumbal이야 ruzanga ene raj jungsona 다회기 자시로 야게살로 지체 네 자시로 벽에살로 지체 엔 아도 자가게다 자변이자로다 산제비추 공도스 자하리 레자게리 사전에 인도산에 자가가 레자케버지 자시로 레자돌마 송야지 내망이 이렇게 좀 사다 들이 그냥 자시로 야게살마 시tem버리 엔 자게 로드산에 재미있게 소리스도가 게임에 나서스도가 구주스게 매대 차고를 쉬스도게
So I know a Chinese master named Dalai who has some kind of connection with the Five-Peak Mountain in Wudai in China. And about 10 or 15 years ago we have met, and since then we have met several times. And one time we made a promise, a pledge between ourselves to recite these fundamental stanzas of the middle way in Chinese by Dalai himself, and in Tibetan by me. And if we have the time to visit the Wutaishan in the future. And then, since the origin of Buddhism is India, therefore we also talked about having an Indian Sanskrit scholar to recite it in Sanskrit. So when you recited this text in Chinese, did it really sound like you are reciting in Chinese or some other language? Because classical Chinese seems to be quite difficult.
인주 벽에 딱고만 거로지 롭중체 있는 레벨 때 거로 맞으나 그 식디 직 벽에 여기 열데 지게 신다신 배서 저로 쓰시도.
So when we read these kind of texts, classical Indian texts in Tibetan, and of course we have difficulty understanding it very easily. And even though we read them in Tibetan, sometimes the texts sound like we are reading in some other language.
촉추 대샤에 켜봐이 시간보다 과스게도 봐. 그 직신에 바로 좀 shadow 봐도 그 촉추 대샤에 켜봐이 있어를 가게 봐도.
For example, in the Pramana Vartika of Dharma Kirti, in the beginning of the text, it says Chokchu Teche Kyabayi. So here, literally, it would be like so the text, this line itself doesn't make much sense unless you really study about it. So it's showing basically the logical procedures.
투승 요모 세야기 체도 any 싫어요. 난 바로 쇼 세다 디샤바 조지심벌이.
So with regard to the practice of the Dharma, the purpose of practicing the Dharma is in order to overcome the three poisons. As you make your prayer, may the three poisons be overcome or dispelled, and may the light of wisdom shine. So this wisdom should dispel and overcome the three poisons.
Yeah.
And today we are going to go through the part which is, according to your prayer, that may I engage in the practices of bodhisattvas.
Sure.
So first we'll go through the Atisha's text.
创的用处做不就是些的，什么一些人性的创的用处做为，军的商界他们这的，我是结果你就些，其实大少买结呗，全的看了普门的，可差不多没呗，差不多一呗，其实大少买结呗，全的看了普门的，地形我是到这边身边全是你们。我现在被人生就是那么大的抗议的，我现在的这有了，叫我这样越么人。错，成就错，用是错我，对就是我天天白天我现在如果就给别人民，现在他成就三百，这个相对主要的呀，现在看到没吧？写不这个他呢，相对吃苦呀的，所说他说那么大人呢，怕是不看到没吧？都马上呢。그 지금 대버지신 패마타야 그버리양 지금 그게 가서 우리 그게 내야 되는데 그 용습을 자 진짜 인도잖아요 배로 차샤나 나기 저도나래야 로상 망가 저도나 무슨 말이야 로상 맞아 심지어 동반인 때마다 당시에 로 마장배 겨울이야 아니 동반이 돼 그게 롤 머추르 제제 배 최대 고알레야로 된적이 년가 이벌이나 동이 다 마덴신 송시바 변 뒤도부리 산다들 제 저동 송기야래 어체 다어든 도반이 주변에 이미 제니 어디도 송야래 저 간다다 감도 매바 시에버 고유에 있잖아요 현대 주발로 무시 개심을 해서 뒤들이 송도와 다드네마 다 대안도 송야디 저 아니 심自己被定人国家的送给了，但确实都咱们这个写了个下巴起来了呀，这가서 신의 마토베 미지게 아주 자바체니 지금 설명 해봐야다 디디 용되기도 봐 아니 자바체 그것은 러버너시 투중기 싫어 섬중기 싫어 되네 나 섬중기 싫어 야 차로 레인도 전에 참아 용거야 자바 참아 용거야 아래 간다 되게 네버 튼퇴야지 강성 네버 튼퇴야지 아래 다 되네야 전에 가서 우리 그게 공부롱도 줘야지 용알이야다 공지 제라 공지 잠도 미쳐가 나 심지집에 띵지 메타메데버지 자당 안아서 냠내증에 뭔고지 턱서디 지집에 신내기다 냠용 통대도 와 대 토구도 와 저들이 인도산에 나 신내 줘야 계속 송어래 지 신내 그런 동안 가서 지난 투모인 버리 레디 람 공내 공도 드라바라 신내면은 탑주는 매대버지 안창도 자나 로리야 삼대바스네베 띵인즈 고미하게 탈수 전부 요아래 다 지금 띵인즈 꽤미 주베 수 야오지 셰베 타네 다 띵인즈 주베야데 배 개시 모르다
So verse number 37 shows that of the Bodhisattva practice, or that when Bodhisattvas engage in practices in terms of serving other sentient beings, they should be able to do so by knowing the different interests, spiritual inclinations and capacities and the interests of different sentient beings, the mental predispositions of the sentient beings, and accordingly teach them. Because otherwise, even though the Bodhisattvas themselves may be sincere in giving their teaching, but if they are not able to teach according to the predispositions of the disciples, then it could happen that they what teaching they give may turn out to be rather ineffective, harmful to some sentient beings, and therefore it's important to and even in the case of Tantra, it is mentioned that one of the root downfalls of the vows is to teach Tantra to untrained disciples. So if you teach people who are not trained or not ripe or receptive to that teaching of emptiness, then this could cause them to have wrong understanding, misunderstanding. And so that could cause you to cause the downfall of the root tantra. And here also this one is talking about that of the root downfall of bodhisattva according to the 20 the text on the 20 vows and 20 verses on the bodhisattva vows. And so in order to be able to, for our practice, the meditation and so on, to be able to go very successfully and be able to know the other people's minds and so forth, then we need that of the concentration, shamatha, which is very important. That is what this text is talking about. And so even in the case of this wisdom, of course, in order for this wisdom realizing suchness to be very effective and powerful, you need to have that of shamatha, single-pointed concentration. And the
디디 참고해야 돼. 자다 지 가서래. 그게 신의 강도 관배 유 단내 지금 왼바 지금 둔지 왼바 지금 삼대가 처럼 자송이야. 된대기 지금 다 된대 숙청부 매등에 추제소로 된대 숙청부 매등에 잠등이 야 지금 된대 숙고야 돼. 다 내가 보면 내가 그래. 아니 그거 땡긴 중에 왜 너가 탑사나 냠냠 탑사나 야 그네서 가가라. 진짜 다 가다가라서 내가 당고변 내가 올라 변은 요문 차샤네 지 녀부께야래 그래 융해봉 조선 송야도가 다 데려와 내가 당고변 내가 그쌤 누버로 시다 야말 그 녀부 차지 숙청부 야말에 그建춘주지게 변 남산 가서 우리 그게 지금 요문배 요문께야建로도 대하라고 어다 되는 시체는 더 삼대 제집에 띵지 차시네 원래다 보면 내가 올라 거라지 치다 돈지도 매등에 내가 바로 지구하게 개심을 해서 갈래갈래 똑바로야 그렇게 이르잖아요 아니 남도 샤만 민족지기 그 전시 지단이 내변의 차단께서 유럽에 심지 대비네 차단 미디야 용거보다 년도 떠로 거로 레이르잖아요 당연히 제집에 띵지 차시네 그 대신에 근데 인도 타마 내가 받치라 아니 띵인지 두두자네 지 세지 처리고 사주 제 개심을 해서 제니 다 아니 개치슈다 띵인진 그게 주당 띵인진기 가서 우리 그게 개진 컨트컨트 이어봐 딱 가다 개진 친구니 시기야래 그봐 띵인지세한테 스미벌 제지도 내버지 내버 장게 미쳐봐 가서 우리 그게 미버디에 그 세버지 고그래라 믹지가 로디에 배 당중에 대야지 고야래 근데 이르자네 셈믹벌을 내야 될이야 파트 정인데 초극 파트 정인비야래 셈믹벌을 내네 배 당중에 돼야 될 징의 파트 정인비야래 근데 인도 개진 친구니 다디 세터리야 다조 천시 그다냐라 가서 우리 천배 미긴지 송 되는 시신기 아니 진국이 견하기 여담에 진국 차라 견하기 여담에 시신기 차라체 되네 거기서 법에 년부 단단이야 아니 셈 징어윤도 셈팡 토르도야 거바윤도 셈팡 마르도야 와다 디디 소소 냠용 그 때문에 아니 진국이 견 모셔버지다 디네고리아 아니 셈 증후 그게 잠부치고 디디다 그게 냠뇨부터네 못쳐버지다 내가 디디 베자타나 디디 그득한데 이모디디 정도 쳐버지 거야 캐치물에 다들 응시 주변 그돌이야 아니 지 그게 튼좀 전에 뭐지 튼좀 맞지랑 저래 맞아 지 답자 사월에 니냐월에 레디네 거라 튼그거기 다 그게 전시 쏘 그게 된대하고 튼성 그돌이 그저 투도 그게 다 the tension then there. And the Thailand to other Chasudoa mindfulness, the Tampadan there. Any combative brother Kadule, down the combat depot is a Kadu in a chamber turi sin dead agigi. What does it take? Chamber never goya, that game or gives to go, chamber never to jungle. So I didn't do that. Tunsum Goline. 믹딘디 로리아 직샷 마치베서로 들이다 쳐고야 배신인설에 전에다 태고시 중앙도 저 차상의 예배다 별 강정의 종기 별 강정의 종다 다가는 신기변에 자나 취주를 자시하네 상하고 초고 요하래 저자와다 상하고 초고 예배 신배이나 아니 띵인지 고미야 신의 주야 돼 나가 난저도 되니 신의 좀나 야 사슈여 되게 지그래샤 그 셈기 때문에 삼로 동다 삼도 마세베 지금이 변에 기도 오만이 비네 지금 롱숭야 된데 시기 거래 다벌도 라미기 쉬운 걸로 샤샤베이나 지 지금 저롱이 냠네 된데 되니 연데 셈믹벌 수 도야라 캬버지기 거래 어디 내리샤
So first we'll say the blessing for the tea. Now, although we may develop some wisdom through the study and reflection, in order for this kind of our wisdom to be really powerful, to check into the reality of suchness, very powerfully, then we need that of shamatha, so that we may develop a very great upsurge of experience of the wisdom. And samadhi is, or that of the concentration, is very important in our practice and essential. Many of the practitioners, although they may have some experience of different teachings, but they are always stuck with that of the shamatha, the calm abiding, single point meditation. And so, although there are many people who do meditation, but because of lack of this shamatha, they are not able to accomplish the goals easily. And therefore, it is very important for us to develop this single-pointed meditation in order to make a very big strides in our take a big strides in our spiritual progress. And then verse number 38. Shows that for any beginners, it is very important to develop shamatha by living in solitude in remote places where there is not much distraction from the world and so forth. Therefore, it is recommended for beginners to go into solitude in solitary places in order to strengthen their the counteracting factors to the different destructive emotions that we have. Otherwise, what happens is even a very slight sort of a catalyst or condition, external condition, can cause us to have great can cause us to have these destructive emotions within us, and so we are going to be swayed by these destructive emotions without having stability in our mind. And once you have developed a certain strength, power of the concentration, and having trained your mind living in solitude, then there will be times when even if you may be amidst some kind of a situation where there is lots of conditions for excellent conditions for developing aversion or attachment and so forth, still you will not be disturbed by those conditions, and you will not grow these destructive emotions within yourself. These will not arise in you. And so it's important for us to, when you practice developing that of concentration, single-pointed concentration, you have to know what are the pitfalls or what are the impediments to these development of shamatha. They are those of mental sinking and excitement. And mental sinking now, within while developing this shamatha, you have to build up stability of the mind, as well as some clarity in your perception. So it's not enough to just build the stability in your mind, but also you have to have a very clear vision of what you are, clear idea of what you are meditating, and the mind should have clarity. And so that of the mental excitement is impediment to the stability of the mind, developing stability, and then mental sinking is impediment to that of having clarity of the mind. And also, in order to in the practice of developing shamatha, you have the factors of mindfulness and that of introspection. And mindfulness helps to hold your mind on the object or the focus that you have chosen, and then while staying on the focus, the introspection helps to check whether your mindfulness is actually, whether you are actually being mindful of your focus or not. And so in this way, while applying these two in developing shamatha, you have to always check whether your mind is getting distracted or excited, falling into this excitement, or is it going into rather dullness of mental sinking. And accordingly, when your mind is too excited, while not being able to stay on the focus, then you have to rather tone down your excitement and bring the mind to the focus. And whereas if the mind is too dull and there is mental sinking, too much of mental sinking, then you have to raise the mind up. And so in this way, you have to try to avoid falling into these two.
신에게 미과 가시고 그게 다 치스오면도 다 가다 지 디우심부르든데 미긴 샤는 되게 아래 다 산제베 셔버지 거네 디시베 구수 미긴 샤야 다 이슈 셔버들 이메이나 소수지 크로스 베 미긴 샤 서로 제는 드도가 다 이슬람 제베이나 꾸른데게 야마로다 제라네 메카 사가한데 베지 미고 전 지금도 미긴잖아 저 데레샤 제다스 미긴 남는 연구야래 당연하죠. 산제베 처버지기 디시베 구수 미기는 샤야. 다 대미기는 시르자네 땡인지 이실 주고야 말다 왕실 주고야 말이 근데 이번 인도자네 미긴 컨디션에 있네 땡야라 소소로로지 녀부스 아니 이물 샤와체체 미긴 강인 버티기 넘버 이물 봐 세네 여다 다 디미긴 처리야래 인물이야 미긴데 세서나 아니 대강라 달로 세시로 대강 내버체체 안당아 슝도 제윤데 지 류그 난기 지 내든들이야 지 이기 고미하러 다가는 신기 틀리 고미하고 서로 다 되게 타네 저되게 하래 야 정류 서구 세에 타네 다가이니 서구 집에는 지 가서 우리 배는 이식 장이야 미긴 차이니스 고미하고 서로 어디를 연구하래 야 되면은 셈 말한저 다다한테 지금 셈배 남도고 춘도 먹고 싶고 제대로 와. 다 남도고 춘도지 파지도 스카용도 아니 동상서 줄로 쉬어도 와. 아는 줄로야 망체 공연 시버균 수저로 소배 남바 로로 차대버 디디기 이기 세리로 거라 그 뭐로도 봐 들대서 쉬도 와. 다지 공연 시배 장배 지 된대기다 치수저로서 난게 지금 디두 소 대즈파 생금 모르파 집대서 쓰고 군수가 모르파 집대서 그렇지 다 대파 남도도 파 남도 춘도 파 까지 변하지 공예시가 쳐야 될 저리 체두년에 놓치는 마대비세 제니니 가사한테 전도했는데 제니니 셈기에 지 대외 참받던데 대외 늦은데 잘못 주체 마음바를 듣는데 저거에 선배 로디에 잘못 주체 로난 대외 남도 지 대바도 좀 마음배 상로 거대가 남도 이제 봐 까시 치드년에 봐 까안도 대외이나 동상에 침배서지 다 대강이야 또 윤루 봐또 생토나 애니 갈래래 식사좀 직some 녀에 넘버 고직 샤용해지 와다 대인이 미디셔요래 사좀 직some 코라 샤스나 다가는 로 세지도 내셔 미딘다 사좀 직some 녀어디 미딘체 다티 챔베슨 내야래 양다도 지거로야 로야 또 가서 우리 그게 누구로 처부여나 동리관님 따지면 나를 유튜브에 동 가사 담이도 관님 다게 동상 샤인도서는 동상 다가 미팅체니 가서 케이블 동상 다가 미팅체니 디간이야 심지도 좋아요 양아도 되니 나 중에 생기 춘이자리 개심을 쓰고도 봐 그래서 인도 안데 shamatha 생기 군수가 뭐지 즉 세좀 직선적으로 샤니 용도 양 뒤니를 잡아야지 양고 균쟁으로 봐 가서 실러는 실이 셰버신 신절라 그 규사디 시규사 균쟁 차용인데 다 들어봐 짜요나 양 셰버기지기지 봐 세드잖아 셰버신 지점으로 로를 샤대고 야 니야메 되지 차용으로 디차용도 자네다 세좀 직선 용에 등니 전기 최전 콜라 사용이나 니야메도 차윤도 인심지 쉬니 니버서 되리 다 동니 다가 고야 오주 예버체 엔디간 상당요나 아니 생기춘이디 로라 사용하지 너 디미티는 샤는 거면 다음은 여는 거기 슝네 차진 거면디 다 조다 드리지셔 다 검지기 로디 로 차와지 게니 되게 돈의 공기야래 저거쯤에 뭐 가다 아니 정신 tun주 시간 송주자네 가다 tun주 사 상다디 다간리가래 다가는 신가 다 라미기 슝네 아주 젊으시 송스 나로리아 뉴모 현지 기회다 대동의 신의 송윤도 공부대감 시기하래 너는 당가 라미기 슝기베 즉 세다 subject야 참을어디 뉴메외세 뒤따나 판니 뉴메외세 모두 줘야 다 탑시지 송도가 어디르샤 다가는 신그 싸게 유순 송윤도잖아요 뉴메외세 뒤 무송윤기하래 아니 그시 주주기처럼 관대 예매기 따왔어 송해야 돼 다른 법용도가 뒤로 참을어베 공부지도 양직이 뉴물 해지집에 왜 세게 대권은 요금이야 대간이야 너되게 하래 다 드시셔 와다 되기 미국 강로 찍다를 이니까를 샤워샤샤세 난조신의 두견은 응시다장 두번줄
So when you practice, when you develop the shamatha, you have to know these two pitfalls in developing shamatha, the mental excitement and mental sinking, and you have to study about them first and be very sure before going into the meditation what you need to be prepared with in terms of when this happens, how you should go about counteracting them and so forth. Everything should be learned, and then where you set in meditation. So within meditation, of course, you have the sessions in which you actually do the meditation session, and then there is the post-meditation session. Even during the post-meditation sessions, you have to still show mindfulness and introspection in order that you don't lose track of your meditation inside of your meditation at all. In the case of those of the in Thailand, for example, they have a very good practice of mindfulness. Such as I don't know, practice of mindfulness, being mindful of the steps, walking meditation, and then so even during the post-meditation sessions, you should not forget about your meditation, your focus, and how to tackle the obstacles and so forth. And so in the in Tibetan and Chinese traditions, we have tantra. So if you use tantric meditation to develop shamatha, it is said to be very, you will be able to make a very big breakthrough by using tantric techniques, whether it's the lower tantras or highest yoga tantra. It is important to have this kind of the single-pointed concentration. And then for in the case of Buddhists, as a focus of your meditation, of course there may be many different things that you can choose, but for Buddhists it is recommended to use an image of a Buddha, and perhaps in the case of Christians a cross may be used. In the case of Muslims, perhaps a Mecca or something can be used as focus of meditation. What you do when you do meditation is not just looking at the thing or that you have chosen to focus your mind on with your the sensory perceptions, but you actually have the image of that object in your mind and use that image in your mind of the object as your focus of meditation in developing it. And in the case of Tantra, of course, you can use either syllables or bindus, or in the case of when you generate yourself into a deity, when you visualize yourself as a deity, you can also focus on the wisdom eye, the third eye, and or else you can use your own mind to focus as your focus. And so when you use your mind, you should be able to, what you should do is just focus on your mind and not let the mind go after or be distracted by any kind of discursive thoughts. And when you do that, in the beginning, what happens is you don't allow the mind to follow after or run after the sensory perception. perceptions and the things that are seen by the sensory perceptions, and then you don't allow the mind to recall about the past events, or nor should you think about anticipate future events. And in this way, when you keep your mind on just that clarity nature of the mind, what happens is, in the beginning, when you don't allow the mind to follow after any of these events, past and future, but just remain in the present, there is going to be some kind of vacuity that happens. And when you further continue into that meditation, then after a while, what happens is this clarity and the knowing nature, awareness nature of the mind, some kind of dawns to you. And then when that happens, then you have to use that mind, the clarity, which has the nature of clarity and awareness, as the focus of your mind. And then if you are someone who is of a greater faculty, greater intelligence, then you may also go into meditation on emptiness, or seeing yourself as being empty of any inherent existence. Or else you can also use, in the case of Tantra, there is emphasis on meditation on the, or actualizing that of the suchness of the mind, the true nature of the mind. And earlier, having developed that, what happens is when you meditate on your mind, and you will see that mind changes from moment to moment. And if you look at where the mind is, of course, it's made up of all these momentary sequences. And whereas if you try to look for the mind within these, you will not be able to find the mind itself. And so when you do analysis of the mind, you will not be able to find it. But then what you see is that it is merely that the mind is the mere knowing and luminous, and that is used to focus your mind. It's done in the Gajyu and Dzogchen, Sakya, and all these different traditions.
문시다장 주번주스 다들 싫어 바로 신조도 제 집어 쌤이 지신 너무 시장이 저번을 방법이 싫어 바로 신년조 땅도 탑제 공부자 탑도 제외 싫어 제외 탑다장 강지 칭워시에 송고 대외 니가 방매자 싫어 간다 탑광시 투좀단의 방매자 탑는단의 싫어지 양다여와 싸워자 싫어 바로 신 방배 집에 바로 신어서 다 싫어 바로 침버 빵밤 다 싫어 바로 침배 다 가서 우리 그게 다 시신기 다 논동이 따와다 만지를 제제 아니 진소 섬담이나 계획노트도 교환을 접수했어 다 시르게 바로도 침배 다 동리 고미아디 오늘 가서 시르게 아니 소리스 자다 손이 송지수도잖아요 진소 땅에 그도래 동리도를 따에 심버체니 단돈 규모도 통하는 거네. 아니 그게 집어지냐. 짐바 진저 렘보 대상으로 규모도 따라 타네. 타네 집어지냐. 다가는 신그 출임. 다가는 신그 써봐. 어디 도시로 돼야지. 다 제도 그돌이야. 드네들 진소 탑을려야 창주고 섬 qo며. 다 사과도 창주고 섬 봐. 야고 지다 싸담니 대안에 아니 남지 되니가 사배 끊을라데. 이니 동이 따와 지실로 qo며. 어떻게 힘을 제니 자원은 접수셔스 타공왕게 등이 이 근시시로 남고 봐 되니 정중유도 더 남이 찍고 보면 민다 남이 공단디 풍부함다 기지는 깨워면 또 유배 정시 동리 시반이 실업전의 용수셔 예바께왔다 자셔는 송셔 뒤들이 여바제와 리민데 매방 난게 매도시 예반이가 된주시 니가 다죠 중어민 뭐보라는 미지 시한다 니가 레장민 규밀레미 대이실 모니지란 심에 야나셔나 당자도 찌더되면 남자는 모니니 매매베 랑심매반이 동네 돈이 두주지고도 우마자와 소래죠 뭐보남지 랑심이 동반이도 줍시 나 동반이 두 줍시아와 강시 흉내 망주베 대신 dinne 마저라 주베 좀더 잠시도 공배통도서도 셰 대처는 원래 정신단의 미미베 담에 반에 공강이 dinne 싫어 공바인 싫어진이 처는 끈 관계런신 마통신 싫어진이 직자바 남도 매바 대공차 남도 내주 시번이 나버도베 다니 티실말로 또 봐봐 양연대바 초인노 대단히 좀 된지 남도 머리 전부도 과외자소 동시 도민 딩진 라네바 나가신도 도민세 시송소 남바 미도고를 주고 손래장 담준들을 계에서 남버 미도 삼주나 남도 저가 남대디 림지미도 토반주로 시송소 롱도지고 다게는 전어들지 게메베 러시메바 내지는 남버 도민 공벌차 대자 뒤니 검전의 림지 초소 터전에 저고라서 터전에 산전 청주 윤미링 땅학순이를 사된 거대 당일 뒤삼대 너는 뒤뒤 직시 좋아. 단디 단다들이 그래서 자셔 날마 먹고 친사를 땡들다 버티나라.
And then verse number 41. God, this text. So when the practitioner has gained calm abiding, higher perception will also be gained. So here, in order to develop the calm abiding, of course, you go through the what are known as this 9 mental steps, and then go into develop that calm abiding, and on the basis of that, the higher perception or that of the clairvoyance will develop, and so in order to do away with the different the defilements that are within us, of course, we have to practice both the method or skillful means and wisdom. In other words, accumulate wisdom and merit. And now, when you do that, what happens is you have to be able to combine the two, and with the practice of generosity and so forth, you have to combine it with that of the wisdom, and make the practice of generosity a course for the enlightenment, with the help of that of the bodhichitta also. So these practices of generosity and so forth you do should be combined with the wisdom, or complemented by wisdom. And when you actually go into the practice or engage in the practices, these practices of generosity and so forth, first of all, you have to you have to develop this bodhichitta within yourself, and think of helping all sentient beings. We have a very clear idea of this bodhicitta within your mind, and then with that you go into the practices of generosity and so forth. So, in other words, the practices of generosity and so forth have to be complemented with by or done within the understanding that they do not have any intrinsic existence. That even in the case of giving, for example, the object that you give, the person whom you give, and the giver, or the action, and so forth, everything is just interdependently arising. Therefore, they are like illusions. So within that perception, you have to do these practices.
난저는 내가 단독 계장 서버담나는 gen지죠 영웅 때문에 그것도 군주 지단하려나 나가든 수수선로 쌓여 고전에 대대신에 수저고는 남만도 수익이 고만제 난저는 내가 단독 계장 미도 때문에 순주 고가는 노동인데 야만 다시 저는 강사를 했나 이신도 대대신에 레로군서 아주들이 계산한 게 난저는 내가 단독 계장 산대 섬로 원주 개보의 상나유미의 용무지 땅나게 거로 무슨나는 대대신에 내가 남인자죠 띵지준도 땡 난저는 내가 단독 계장 싫었으면 뒤니 따르면 시베서와 중년진배 남 손으로 끓는 나가 연대들 띠무면서 점이셔도 차 대다시네 탄도 캐바이 남들 배웠으면 깨면서 내전 얘기야 탄도 제장스 지지 삼대상으로 코아이 싸워주면 네번 마통신 신의 남자들 싫어 지수신 너무 믿어배 이로 푸다셔배 싫어 여미신은 달라 견에는 다들 우매리고 저는 편지 믿게 담지 직집에 수시접에 양배 싫어 뒤니도 별로를 잡았는데 내전 이제 탄도 제장 지주금에 등진들만 뭐지 수시접에 소도바지 이로 여미신도 때만 나봐 등지 깨버ton에 신랑이 손들어 좀 야잖아 내전 얘기야 탄도 제장 냠산만 것도 동료도 저도 좀 어때요 동반이 거기에 탈시 수로 저 계세죠 팔을 좋아나 대다도네 초래 남기는 습범에서 깨서는 룩 내전 얘기야 탄도 제장 나와디 수데 대들 교전 대비 태신기 남저 이걸 거에 투물람 지신전에 개별 대변기 거는 규리자수 칠 슈네 영소명아 담바도 단조토고 단단 담바 체 내전 내년에 탄도 있듯이 장서로 라기로 고마저도 깨서 샤나 편바 제시 야와제베 영수 소변은 고랭하게 셰베 겨와전 로군요 나도는 데미 주지는 면함데 내전에 좀 면함대로 탄주지 디신 뎁살로 시시주 남지면 년은 좀 놀주지 지상도 제가 니는 만도 되게 견노 뽕하고 로산트베 비게 도로서 나쁘게베 리딩도 자고 제니 다오 라한테 두둥기 친구들이 마송네 아니 실라 송지과레스 땡인지 고바 상기 땡지는 누구야 말이 가시버는 시리 가스근 시버는 시 무디베 아니 다도 다와데 땡을 땡겨야래 다도 다와 대다 제니 신의 고야 연구도가 저상가 신의 고바 상기 땡지는 나나 무디베 신의 고야 연구 말와 sam modik shine komni chi samde da sumi da sumi da chetya yung yore sa dire 이르사네 다 띵인진 samde chigogi 당지는 누구 말했어 다야 담에도 왜 싫어 찍고 가봐 있네 그니 퇴중 섬중기 네번이야다 연구를 돼 이네 동번이로 산한 턴도야 자연의 용 말했어 동번이로 산한 턴도 이집이다 삼대 띵지 거래서 띵이 송지전도 그래서 뒤송겨래 다 뒤슈고때 아니 대대다 기부선 걸 남기진배 로장네 아니 장주고 쌈다 동이기 따와 야오지 중소나 아니 상가도 지테베 최고로 슉셔다 뒤송셔 대중은 아니 동아 연수도에다 담바 아니 가서 우리 그게 담발로 파장저 두고 준 거래 아니 냠네 사주셔 연구를 스타디 송이 그래 남들 쇼
So he's almost finished the text by Lama Tsongkhapa, and what Lama Tsongkhapa has said in this text basically is that that we have to combine both shamatha and vipassana in order to reach our goal. Mere shamatha will not overcome our delusions or that of it grasping at true existence. Nor mere intelligence, mere wisdom will help in overcoming that of this delusion. Grasping at true existence. If mere shamatha were to help, was enough for overcoming the grasping at true existence, then the non-Buddhist meditators who develop shamatha should be able to overcome this delusion, but that doesn't happen because they believe in a soul or atman, which is a permanently existing self, and therefore on the basis of this kind of belief they do the practice of shamatha, and that shamatha doesn't really that shows that shamatha doesn't and in itself help to overcome this grasping at a self. And whereas with regard to the wisdom, if it's only the wisdom that can help to overcome this completely, the grasping at a self, then we would not need the shamatha as well. So that is not the case. So after having understood that of the things having no true existence, you also have to develop the shamatha and combine these two. So in other words, through the practice of the cultivation of renunciation, bodhichitta, and the emptiness view, then once you have become firm in these, you enter into the tantric path, which will make your progress rather swiftly, and you will be able to make great breakthrough. Now we are at Atisha's text. Verse number 60
내가 말면 제베긴 도서철에 시야 통어 청주외주 소도는 청주남셔도 되체 청주남지 좀 로빈시 뭐 빼말면 제 시기 잡아 소소 대가지 뭐 디범가를 실현자는 표지로서 계속 개별로 주시도 때나 봐봐 오 어디 좋다.
So that His Holiness finished the text by Master Atisha. So this concludes the for the path of enlightenment by the Acharya Dipankara Sri Jana.
보다한테 남준아 송은 신세니 냐라 이는 왕고 토고래 송래 규디 시갈라리아 규디스르테 남냠술렘바리아 토모 왕게 규미미시 과레스 나 들이데 에네 그는 자나루 차샤네 관인 신자도 시부시 다 님집에 자시무시 되게 야래 타고라 조차돼 야래 별 강전 차샤나야 바고 제네시스니 타고라 조치게 야래 듣지고야 뒤에 태고침비 남냠리 진행이 남기 그게 다 닝부디 장주섬레샤 제가 그것은 시원한 시리 동리기 따에 산재의 추억이 콜레아지다 동리기 따에 제용도가 다 산재의 추억이야 동리기 따에마 지금 고된사지 여바다 아니 도군 세로인 버터 디리아오 중에반이는 이르는 타바토니 두버지글레 되네야 다 챈드토니 걸로 장ning 두자네 다 챈든도 남지 ton도니야 두버디 지글레 고도가 자다 무시 남는 지야디 자죽섬사 되리 점된데 다 과랑기 뒤절마 추된디 과랑기 냠린 나야 섭슈디 섭슈사디 권한정리기 다 방도 탈침배 연대지 응아땡에디 탑강의健康的 되네다 탑어디 수윤들 장주섬도 조차들이 하래 봐 자들이 인도산에 점된데가 도시서머신데 셔서머신은 닝노처럼 좀 된데 정리기 다 방도 조배 연대진의 정약이 다베 탑조의 장주섬이 뭐지 공체 아당 하나도 뒤절이야 닝노처럼도 막 숨겨야래 비준준의 손야디 개버토모 저건 잡아이 통하는 게 니니 팸버 6에 송샤디 담바래 봐 아니 지수 잡은 거에 내들람는 도지지 투리람는 접도는 거심해본 전집에 장주섬을 차서로 세네 안데 기부 충진 거돌이야 지금 원도 주야다 내리 주야다 탑소수시 송동아 나 디디야 림베글로 장고 그래 림베글로 장는 무시 냠는 디서디 장주섬 가는 냠는 집에 있나 원도 터야 돼 달라도 탑돼야 다 원도 쭉 필수서버디 장주섬도 하는 용대 그래 아니 지금 내리 타로 터야 되네 배를 장주섬 그 덮기 아니 동이 그따에 누가 코네 콘도 페이지 용대야 된지 아니 남진 고바 타발을 장주선 메타메드 차대요. 그래서 되는 일이잖아요. 내가도 더도 그든 참으로 장주선 그 조린 것도 와. 나가는 신경은 안서 지금 상상 제거할休息 개념을 다 상상 제야 약수 장주선을 해서 장주선 관다. 가동 라마 고모서 송원은 소장 코랑 거서 딕득이 코랑 거 정송을 해. 봐. 나란지 디고사야 망슈직디 조선전의 때에 디고사돼야 돼 망슈르샤. 다 대나 뒤타다 봐도 유강의 때에 다 고승기 샤는 시드 잡아 세하기 된적이 단 나봐 영향하기 예 그게 시루징에게 조선전 뒤에들 다 찍도 다 귀비했습니다. 세했습니다. 대단하게 두면전되고 쿨 라야가 셈 된적이 게임이 윤두잖아요. 나를 편제 대다를 때에 디고 사셔도 렁슈 다려야지 영설에도 와 준준의 송도 와 사들이 뭐 이러잖아요. 디고 다야가 샤고 저거주네 장주선 거는 때를 하게 샤고 샤고 타 이게 문 먹고 싸벌래 장주선 튠직 섭서 저 겁니다. 배진이 거 쳐야래. 나가는 신거 차줘야 차샤네. 그다음에 이제 준준의 소원은 저래 장주선기 아니 쌤 겁네. 제베이는 차 때라도 줘야 들으셔. 저는 인데 사장 쓰는 거죠.修开始不是有的，对长久生活的人老是没得不去排斥一下。当然呢，啥的出的没得路，没得光别信息路，大多甚至他们就让个岗位加下小，甚至那了少些个打了他的切跑小，打了他的定位就大概嘛的天命小，现在送完那些个，点这个人都是接不住呢，哎。가동 공을 소원은 초장 코란 거서 딕딕 코란 거 좀 소원은 신기 편유들이 여러 타라 심리야 가능천에 마용지 땡대 용서래. 봐. 사선 중앙 전부터 나가신도 따고요. 심지어 빠도면 봐. 남한 예수 시행한 쇼 세네. 소소 류가 이순부터 조심쟁 체도 믹셔버지. 심쟁을 롱자자. 심쟁을 다 샴디 주야지 인사바지 시타반의 중앙이나 아까래 거기서 말로 아직 용기서 패지를 메워래. 된대지를 놓고 숙하고 주나? 라마지에 나래야. 선제르지야 남에베 매난게마 켜서 내가 이제 닝지미 주장주 저저 순주 퍼진성과 신이로 수나도 자리 깔래깔래 로장 용사래. 나기우 제제 심 람들 교배 그도 디식디만 되는데 어떤 하나 쓴다 잡지. 선제르지실래 편바지 용이야나 당에서 내가 깨 삼아지 직나 영향서로 쫀나 영향서로지 갈래갈래 거는 연구도가 당한 냠뉴스다라 여말다 저주선 교리께 여말다 돈이 있다와 여말다 다를 무엇이나 되게요래 레디네 삼는 날이야 띠 겁나도 깨서래 삼아지 내가 저택이요 다한다 라토스디 신에게 라토체 이는 구조자 스케임도가 다도 센다 대대도가 신에지 좋은 배지 사람 자람 도아질 명에서 자용기. 사람 자람 수준 다르구나 민도 도아질 랭에 식도 되다이네. 그 신내 주야 주주 가셔서고 주주미도. 어디래. 사다 계란도 주주 영에서 단지 상담 거래. 뺏게 좀 버리셔. 자, 드레지 상담인데 뭐네라 류대와 샘기와 차도 대와 풀기와 이거가 인도산에 준주네. 대외 경내 근세의 정주성게 따셨네. 내내 대화를 들어와서 심시수지 기lun유로 센 송도가 뭐냐래샤 쉬어지다 롯데보 영야지다 고쳐서 싸우지면 돼야지 뒤에 sendi지고 말이 지신나가 내봤던 로치스 내줘 디스단에 내줘네 저였던 싸워셔서야기 말하면 되야지 생각나는 지 공지시 때네 sem나는 디시실레체 갈래 지금 sem다니고 차요 뭐이나 무슨 좋은 조세 땡기 기비 긴구 추버리 다 장죽 셈스다 데려도가 디주 내가 되지셔
And then in order to enter into the tantric path, it is said that you need that of the maturing condition of the initiation. So you have to receive the initiation in order to practice tantra. Now, the initiation that we are going to do here is that of the initiation of Kuan Yin, which is, of course, in the Chinese tradition, you consider Kuan Yin to be very sacred and holy, and the same is the case with Tibetans. Chandrisik is considered very sacred and embodiment of compassion. Now, in order to practice Tantra, of course, you have to have some conviction in the possibility of that of the enlightenment. When you practice Tantra or any kind of practice of Dharma, you have to have this the conviction, the possibility of attaining nirvana and enlightenment, and this has to come on the basis of understanding that of emptiness. And then that understanding of emptiness also should be complemented by that of the bodhichitta, which is that of focusing on enlightenment, that final enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings. And so for the understanding of emptiness to become a cause for that final enlightenment, of course, the essence is that of the bodhichitta. So bodhichitta becomes the essence in Mahayana practice. So even the Buddhas have found this bodhicitta to be the essence of the primary factor that leads all beings to the final goal of enlightenment. And so, just as the Buddha Shakyamuni himself has gone through the path and reached that goal of enlightenment through with the help of this bodhicitta, likewise, therefore he has actually given us this. The treasure that he cherished so much to us by giving us this teaching on bodhicitta. And so with regard to bodhicitta, the Shantideva's Bodhicharya Avatar says that the great sages, referring to the Buddhas, have found only this to be the sole cause for the benefit of to benefit all and every being, and having checked what is the best means to help all sentient beings, the Buddhas have found bodhicitta to be the only thing. And then also with regard to bodhicitta, Maitreya says in the prayer of Maitreya that it averts one to fall into the lower realms, and it also leads one to the higher realms, and then it leads to or it shows the path to immortality. And I prostrate to the that of bodhicitta. And so bodhicitta is the sole cause for us to attain, whether in terms of attaining higher rebirth or the highest enlightenment of Buddhahood. It is bodhicitta that will lead us there. And without bodhicitta, and bodhicitta is indispensable for us to reach the higher paths, the Mahayana path, and finally that of the goal of enlightenment. And so whether it's in terms of the short-term goal of higher rebirth and so forth, and happy existence in the samsara, and also the ultimate goal of enlightenment, it is bodhicitta that helps us to attain all these different goals. And then the bodhicitta also helps is the best means to accumulate merit and purify our negativities. Just as the Kadamba masters have said, that if the bodhicitta itself helps us to complete the accumulation of merit, and it helps us, itself helps us to purify all negativities. And so what happens to us is that we create negativities in relation to sentient beings. And so when you hold sentient beings to be dear to your heart, you will not think of causing them harm, and you will not engage in the activities that bring suffering to them. And therefore, with the sense of with your affectionate heart and warm heart towards the sentient beings, and you respect to sentient beings, you will not do anything that harms them. And so this altruistic attitude that you bear towards sentient beings itself helps in purifying the negativities. And bodhicitta is more powerful perhaps than just meditating on bodhicitta, even for a moment, is more powerful in overcoming or in purifying our negativities than reciting the 100-syllable mantra 100 times, 100,000 times, and so forth. And so therefore, as the Shantideva's Bodhicharya Avatara says, bodhicitta helps us to complete the accumulation of merit very easily, without difficulty. And therefore, such prayers as this are made by the great masters like Nagarjuna and so forth. May I become a sustenance for all sentient beings, like those of the elements of earth, water, and so forth. May I become causes for provisions for sentient beings, just that they may be able to use just as they like. And also, when you practice bodhicitta, you are dedicating yourself totally to sentient beings, and therefore, whatever may happen to you, even if you may be harmed by others, you will never feel tired of sentient beings. And then Shantideva also makes this prayer that may I become a sustenance always for the sentient beings, endless like the space. May I become like the elements of the earth, water, fire, and so forth. And so when you dedicate yourself totally for the well-being of other sentient beings, what will happen is, from the depth of your heart, you will never feel tired at all. And so you'll be able to fulfill the prayer in Lama Chapa, which says, may you be able to remain in the hell realm for eons and eons out of compassion for sentient beings.
Rangi lamden korshibu tekjinkini lojanam dishishebe songye yangda choga chesu nangs chene 코로나바 시사디 결론 파마니체 되네 개념 파마니체 대시 시부터 코로나바 시사 자다 왕 kurse 유디 코로나바 시 강론중 과레스와 랑글람데 코르시부스 데이터라 택진기 로젠스라도 장주생기 다 마다 입에 장주선은 매바 땡내 여대버치기다 들지 고야래 안 데이터라 동리 다와려야 매바 여대버치기 어다 디디 고야래 다 디디도 당야라 가슬라는 지장도 되나라 개념 좀 되어디디 아다에네 개념 파마니 소인데 다대가 좀 접중 다 개념 자주 패시 자이 다 베네미스 양나 주는 개념만 이해도 가버리 제가 개념 파마니 된 뒤 개념 파마니 뒤 예버체 가사 맞다 개념 파마니 부디 원내야기 고된 쇼트체 다 되네 kim버즈 개념 파마도 주셔기나 에네 도만 안데 디슈하게 랑글람데 코르슈사지 잘 추기하래 봐 단 도만 레만서 소소랑 왔다 제니 다 금디 안다 개념디 용서 개념사디 미서 고모고 자임자바 아니 미줄라메 준신 다스 디 소주 마진레 아니 라이맘다 자임 시다디디 담발라네 말네 무슨로서로 디모스는 층으로 다 미사는 전루리 고모군 전루리 자임신 전루리 시다디리 이르자네 무슨로서로다 소야 단달라 아니 타바 되니 그 lös은 자주 그 있으면 무슨 송샤나 펜샤인 거로다. 샤송. 다 미줄라면 그냥서 지단 메시다 요한 양가 야마래. 당 안으로 치강 등에서 미줄라면 중요한 양가 도지야래. 직문시면은 무시도 도로 동니 마도네 도연도 자주 그 규리 계도 도로 제 매직 루주지 권유. 나 배때문에 메시다. 라마지 내가 주주대야 요새니 앵게만 처음 갔을 때 그랬어요. 이 다섯이 있으면로 라마도 렘다 차차네. 정말 나시시요. 이 처음 이번에 이때 갖고 차왔어. 지가 되게서 미줄라면 중요한 양가 도와줘야 지다 미줄 사용 말에 셔서 이 이내처럼서 들때 와 가지디디 슈 자와시로 많이 아니 와디 슈사니 퍼율파 소설로가 발리잖아요. 땅을 저주서만 인슬로는 미줄라면 중 저다 셔서 미시베 왕이 시에는 내주 가가래 시신도 지그로인도 전에 미줄라면 중 좋아하니까 요래 다디네 나바디니 창통 본 다디리 다디 내가 링루시 교수시 대한다 담살 때 등한다 볼라지 유즈군네 개념적으로 네 유즈미다 창통점을送래 에 볼라지 창고샤르도가 유즈미 고 푸르푸르야 당에 창뽕야 천이 오면 두시시요 이 유즈미 다시는 계속 말에 참 또스도시라 뭐도 알았어 그래 세상에 찾아서래 딜러야이다 창통 때는 봉통은 때는 방 그래서 때는 방부터네 라스지 켜는 뭐도 못 쳐. 근데 교사요래 양의시라 잘하면 싶지 그 시외 그 라스는 들어보는 그 세신 당배 미 남주고 가서 녀버려 써잖아 진짜 스킵도 와 그래서 라스 켜는 뭐도 못 쳐. 어다 러브식 나버들이 뒤숨도 개면도 와 자 대단한 단체한테 괜히 준도 여버디디 아니 냐라 다 야란 차세 사주 구유는 차세 구유면은 라도 대모자니 류마 이숨삼을 쉐쉐신 인디두리아.
So in the initiation rite, it mentions that the disciples who take initiation should be comprised of the four sangha members. So four sangha members are those of the bhikshus, bhikshunis, and then lay person, male and female lay people who have taken vows of upasaka and upasika. And so these four make up the sangha members. And the four, of course, for the gelongs and gelongmas, the bhikshus and bhikshunis, you have the vows. And it's in fact considered that for someone who takes these initiation, tantric initiation, these vows of the gelongs and gelongmas are said to be those of the gelongs and gelongmas are said to be of the highest basis for initiation. And then on top of taking the Pratimoksha vows, then you have to also have a very firm conviction and faith in that of the bodhichitta. And so, in other words, the bodhichitta also has to be there to take vows, to take the initiation, and then understanding of emptiness also has to be there. So you should have a very firm sort of conviction in these two, the bodhichitta and understanding of emptiness as well, to take the initiation. Now, in the case of the vows, those of the lay people who wish to take vows here, so that you may be, fall within the four sangha members. It's your wish if you want to take the vows of upasaka and upasika, but His Holiness is saying that he's not forcing you to take the vows of a lay person, but if you wish to take, you may take so. So with regard to the vows of lay people, there are 5 of them. The first 4 are those of not killing a human being, not stealing, and then not committing adultery or rape, and then not lying. Lying here in the case, in the sense of making a big proclamation of having some high spiritual realizations, whereas you don't have them. And so with these two, with regard to these 4 vows, of course, even if you don't take the vows, even in legal terms, in worldly legal terms, if you commit any of these 4 wrongdoings, and you will be punished. You may go into prison. You may be imprisoned, and so whereas you anyway have to keep from doing these wrongdoings, if you keep from these wrongdoings, restrain from them by taking the vows, and then with the motivation of helping all sentient beings, I mean, that would be much better than keeping from or restraining from these wrongdoings out of fear of legal system. And with regards to the lying, the big sort of lie, proclaiming to have some kind of high spiritual realization, it is not so. The common people like you may not be so prone to to fall into this, but someone like Lama would have would be in a danger to lie like this. And then there's a story that I've heard. There was a Lama in Tibet, and one time he was on the top of a roof, on the roof of a house or something like that, maybe the 2-story or 3-story building, and then he asked his disciples whether should I jump from the roof, and all the disciples also unwittingly said that, they also stupidly said that yes, and then the Lama jumped from the roof, and what happened was he actually broke his legs. And so the Lama was supposed to have some kind of a miracle power, but that was what happened. So that's tantamount to lying, telling this kind of big lie. And so and after having received this vow, this initiation of Chandrisik, when you go back home to Taiwan or your home, don't tell people that you are now bodhisattvas. And with regard to the 5th vow, it's avoiding giving up alcohol. And if you wish to take the vows, please make 3 prostrations to the Buddha. If you don't have much space, just make the gesture of making prostration. And then with regard to this alcohol, once somebody living in Dharamsala took these Upasaka vows from Ling Rinpoche, and at the end of these vows, Ling Rinpoche told him that he cannot drink alcohol, but the person said, while scratching his head, he said, I cannot give up alcohol. And then Ling Rinpoche kindly told him, in that case, you may take a very little amount of alcohol, so you may also do so. And so please do 3 prostrations to His Holiness and 3 prostrations to His Holiness.
로변 공수 공성을 다네 아니 소수 민디면에 아니 머시버도 아니 다 산제 쇼킨들 접선들 다네 응아 괜히 지긴 사치 럽신가지 비긴 지긴 사치 다양 개데 럽신가자로 지 숨모티버스로 이메이는 디나네 시 숨니 직 라네 드기하래.
And so with regard to the vows that you would take, you may either take all of the 5, or if you think you can't keep all the 5 vows, then you may take either 4, 3, 2, or just 1. So what you're going to repeat after His Holiness is please kneel down on your right knee. If you have made the prostrations, kneel down on your right knee, and you'll repeat after the Master, Loben Gongsusol, which means, Master, please pay attention to me. And then what you will be saying is that you're going to keep these vows until death. Please repeat these lines after his. Say your name, and from now until my death, I take refuge in the Buddhas, the supreme of the bipeds. Take refuge in the Dharma, which is freedom from attachment. I take refuge in the Sangha, the supreme community. Master, please regard me as Upasika until death. So you're repeating it again for the second time. Please regard me as Upasika until my death. So during this third repetition now, at the point of saying Genyen Tu, regard me as Upasika, His Holiness will snap his fingers. At that point, when you hear His Holiness snapping his fingers, then feel convinced that you have received the Upasika vows. So you have to determine in your mind whichever number of vows you're going to take, and feel that you have received those vows. Master, please pay attention to me. Say your name. From now until my death, I take refuge in the Buddha. I take refuge in the Dharma. I take refuge in the Sangha. Until my death, please regard me as Upasika. So say Lexo. Okay, please sit down. So with regard to the precepts that you are going to keep, we don't need to go through them each in detail here, but just think that you will keep all these vows that you have taken, just as the past arahats have done.
Any tenamji, that chungleya, any cha chao, chava, shakwa, jesu yirawa, many chongo go, Yangalemido saw the more, or the Yana dun sati, Chixanalia, shawache. Jenny, any that tedebita, Yana Dunjukon, Saksang Mundu Dang Ne, that Taibe Simjen, round around, Dungaminduba, Dawandaba, Gokuna Tsundenge, Dungen de Ruimba, Dawa Turuimba dear, Narazo the Sun Yedavachigi. That was a condom, Samungu, the Shusarwa, competition we are, the name in Duzane. Da Nangata to be Simjen, competition with Gula Yedava deity, da Sanji Kova Toyagi, Guru, Sabu, so the Yeva in Duzane, da Tetamjanam de Jeras out of Go, Yabachita. Tedala, and she pended to Yala, so suit the Nuba, but Chasan Shita, Nuba Beta, Gotadane, Shandun Tutuaji Yonalia, that's so Sanji Kova Toku, Sabashi lost gas. Other day, Sanji said it's a Bangur Shabe Talia, and Simki, Tamjati Shani, Sim Geshua. 6G, the other year, Donald to somebody said, 6G, Chasun Tians, Jagadolma, Josh and Diduri.
And so now we come to the point of generating bodhichitta. And so for this, imagine the Buddha and all the lineage masters, like the Master Nagarjuna and his disciples and so forth down the line, in the front space before you. And with them as a witness, you first think of doing the 7-part practice of prostration, making offering, confession, and rejoicing, and then requesting the Buddhas not to pass away, and asking them to turn the wheel of Dharma, and then finally dedicating the merits for the enlightenment, for the benefit of all sentient beings. And so all sentient beings are the same in the sense that nobody wants suffering, but everyone wants happiness. And then all sentient beings are also same in the sense that they have the potential to fulfill the wish to have happiness and to overcome all suffering. And because they have the potential or the seed of Buddhahood, which is called Buddha nature, the Tathagata Garbha. And so because you and all sentient beings are same in these terms, in these senses, therefore now you have to think that for the benefit of all sentient beings, and in order to be able to help all sentient beings, to lead them to that of the highest enlightenment of Buddhahood, and to be able to fulfill them completely, you need to become a Buddha. So with that understanding, think that you will have this wish to become a Buddha for the sake of all sentient beings firmly in your mind. And we'll do this these lines. Please kneel on your right knee. So the lines that we are going to say are: with a wish to free all sentient beings, I shall always go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until I reach full enlightenment. That's the first verse. So remind yourself of, or recall the benefits of bodhichitta. So, recalling the benefits, the good qualities of bodhicitta, think that Buddhas and the masters like Nagarjuna and so forth have become enlightened by generating this bodhicitta, this altruistic mind within themselves. And so I will also follow suit and generate bodhicitta within myself. So please repeat these lines. With a wish to free all beings, I shall always go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until I reach full enlightenment. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mindful awakening for the benefit of all beings. As long as space remains, as long as sentient beings remain, until then may I too remain and dispel the miseries of the world. With a wish to free all beings, I shall always go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until I reach full enlightenment. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind of full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. As long as space remains, as long as sentient beings remain, until then may I too remain and dispel the miseries of the world. And so at the end of this third repetition now, which we are going to do, you have to feel that you have received the generated bodhichitta, and if you wish to generate this bodhichitta with some pledge, then thinking that what you have to think is, this bodhichitta that I have generated, I will not let it, I will not give it up or lose it at any time. And so if you do that, then there are certain practices which you do in order that this bodhichitta may not decline in this life as well as in the future lifetimes. But the main thing is to think that, to have this motivation determining that you will never harm anybody, but to do whatever you can to help them. Please repeat. With a wish to free all beings, I shall always go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma and Sangha until I reach full enlightenment. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind of full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. As long as space remains, as long as sentient beings remain, until then may I too remain and dispel the miseries of the world. Please sit down.
rangi lamde khorishibu tikjin kine lojanam sayati da changan soro chiri da dishishebe sungbo yangda choga cheso nang sayada da dirima da nga wang chea wang li yang da dangimba nga dagun chea duksinda.
And then having taken the generated bodhichitta, next we are going to do the initiation. So within the initiation there is the preliminary process of the initiation, and then also that of the actual initiation. So first we are going to go through the preliminary. So because we are in a hurry, I'm going to do a very short ritual of this Gektor.
다 대한 남주다 세세시 치기요. 다 가서 괜히 ben 천적 소리지. 내 렉자다면 소리지. 자, 이 인지비지 라면 두시 마샤네 저게. 다 데리더만 동바슈야 이메 인두산에 라면 두시 샤고고요. 저도 라마도 로메 저차 이부여 인두산에 탐지장 주고요. 저자다 개부슝대 때냐디 당은 아래에 땡겨요. 아니 쉬고 관리 두스타인데 고상가바 침벽감네 가다 슝된서야 돼 충분히 아니 고상가베 개부슝된디 그리실 문제는 것을 봐이나 고상가바 랑숭 용라게 빠르나리 여도시도가 어디나리야 아니 멜롬 로페 탐신 중부 담바던 로하라 세와체겐 송도와 사실이 이미두산에 아니 쉬고 땅에 뒤장와 샤브레 자 아니 다 갈래갈래야 미신다솔레 띵이 땅에 니주티 직시험에 인도산에 땅에 시험에 밀리엄 멀음네 먼징이지 근데 라랭께다 막아서야 미소스 상루지 도스체니다 신에다 등진샤 도스 차버리 디셔도산에 다 릭지기 때 먹을 체제 도스테디도 와 차도 당연히 샤샤네 안다 먹을지도 와 안다 세건 치즈미 시설 샤샤한테 먹을지도 와 자상가 와다 드네인데 되게 땡엠리 차도 예배이나 왕슈야 디차나 고 탐진냠 주고지 야고야 말에 쉬겨야 말에 대한 장수 심징해버셔 내가 이 배워서 딱 받으셔야 되게 배받아 지혜술에 있어야 되게
So usually when I give initiations like this, I make some clarification in the beginning, which is to say that with regard to the other general teachings, like we had until now for the last few days, there is no need for the audience to regard the teacher as their spiritual master as such, as guru. Whereas when it comes to tantric practice, then there should be a pure bond between the spiritual bond or between the teacher and the disciples, and therefore since we are doing within this initiation within the context of taking the teacher the student regarding the master as their master, teacher, guru, and the guru regarding the disciples their disciples, therefore it is important to have a pure samaya between us, and therefore with regards to Shugden, Teriyel Shugden, in the beginning, of course, I also propitiated Shugden, but then later on, I did some test examination and found that what the fifth Dalai Lama has said about Shugden, which is that the Shugden is someone who has risen through wrong, perverted kind of prayers, and who does who harms the Dharma as well as sentient beings, and who is a perfidious spirit. And so because of that, I gradually stopped propitiating Shugden, and then having done that, because I should thinking that I should also make this clear to the people, I started asking people to stop propitiating Shugden, and because it was not right if I didn't tell people what I had actually found about Shugden, and therefore I have been telling people who come to, if they are propitiating Shugden, then they should not come to my initiations, tantric initiations. Of course, there are people who who are against me for this, such as Sekong Titu Rinpoche in Taiwan. But here we got to have a pure bond between the guru and disciple. So this is what I tell Tibetans as well as Westerners.
chochik ne ju dire chochik ne 이게 안다 남전한 되게 탑기심배 시럽기심배 탑선 송도와 디 바로도 심배 태벌걸이야 탑시 모 타대니 직조수 직송 제제 직 직심배 제전로 돼야지 대삼시 탑시 송지 송거야래 다 나가 숭급감네 다 나슬로 조조 서켓던서 나 라메크도르지 그래서 나 라메크걸이야 뭐서 아니 탑시 예를 미치듯이 용돼야지. 자, 뒤쪽 컨트롤스로나 뉴메 에세싱에 되게 슬로송아. 뉴메 에세스야 직니 아니 하이 구숭 투숭도 샷돼야지. 다디 뭐지고 차용도 와. 다다 되게 변은 탑도 싫어서 러비윤디 독체체 아마도 뒤주지 다 간다 지 다들 가서 우리 그게 변화 룸스미 예를 미치베 땡네 아니 탑도 싫어 예를 미치베 지를 남지 레윤도 자네 다들 탑시 예를 미치고 뭐 뒤차다 상계의 사이 구숨 툭숨 성숨 로치고 지여다 다디 링제 년랭기 주디에 로벤네고네 룡아 예수 예를 미치베 난저지 고기야래 가려 건 뒤지게 쳐봐 그 링자가지고 고기야래 가서 괜히가래 맨닝가 러버나 시체니 뉴베겐 사티가네 산제지 고반 타야기 두 타르토거디 산제지 사이 연된 친자와 능신 지기 준토야가 뉴베여지고 그러다 저자 이거 산제가 살아 성수 예를 미치베 지기 가서 그러다 정신 인댕에지 로베람라 성순 타대버지 룡아이소 타대버지 간에 저거 좀 연식 말아. 그래서 어디에 이르잖아요. 저가 라메 그도네 성순 로치버지 로베네 그네 죽어야 돼. 다 딘지 여러 인자 나 지나래 다 동유도 손은 하샤에 하이 내저세 대 캐시를 샤네 대땡게 캐주 동유 고매야지. 다 미국 하고르면은 나버랑 심매방 예배다 로 지기 주시 가서 하고 때에 내가 동닝게 예배 로티니 랑게 명올라 에네 하고 나봐 샤트버지 다도 뭐 샤트고 말아 마음발은 뭐 샤기야다 저장가 마음발은 뭐 샤야지 여러 인상 다다네 뒤 고매하게 탄다래야 에네 뭐가 이지기 타네 동료들 손을 하셔왔네. 어다 된적이 사생님이 있나 줘서야지 줄이 시간을 되게 하래. 막 섭제 뒤도는 연구야.
So in the practice of Tantra, what we are doing is that combining there's the technique to develop this combination or the union of shamatha and vipassana in a very special way in Tantra, especially whereas in the Sutrayana, in the perfection vehicle, it is said, as it is mentioned in the lamp for the path to enlightenment, that of the skillful means and wisdom have to complement each other. That is in the perfection vehicle, what happens is they are brought combined in terms of complementing each other. That the wisdom helps that of the skillful means, and skillful means helping that of the wisdom, whereas they don't come at the same simultaneously at the same time. They don't happen. Whereas in the case of Tantra, and especially the highest yoga Tantra, these two, the skillful means and the wisdom, are actually there within one instant of consciousness. And so this happens on the basis of the innate clear light. So on the basis of this innate clear light, the one innate clear light itself becomes that of the wisdom and the skillful means in Tantra. So this happens also because of the identical nature of those of the subtle wind and mind energies. And so, because the subtle wind and mind are indivisible from each other, therefore, in Tantra, this the indivisibility of the wisdom and skillful means also happens. And so, through the practice of Tantra, what you reach is the goal of enlightenment, where the body, speech, and mind, or which are termed as the three secrets, are of one taste. And so, whereas you have these three as one taste, if you were to have a cause which is not congruent with it, then it's not going to happen. And so during even during the time of the trainees level, you have to have the practices, the meat or the principles which are going to give rise to this kind of the body, speech, and mind of a Buddha, which are of the same taste. And without that, it cannot happen. And so, just as we have talked about before in the previous days, that in order for things to give rise to their effects, they should be of what is known as the potential condition. And so the potential condition means that these the causal causes have to have some similarity with those of that of the results. And so during the time of the trainees level, what happens is you meditate on a deity, and then within that meditation you also see the deity as empty of inherent existence. So in order for this to happen, what we need is that you have to meditate on emptiness, and from within that state of emptiness you have to arise into a deity's body, and then you have to focus on the deity's body and see that as empty of inherent existence. And so this should be done in our case at this stage in rather through imagination, but then this will become an actual experience in the future, although it is not an actual experience now.
자자가 대대가 통주 용의 직. 다 사제비 최고 나는 자샤네 지 발리 취준 중에서 레자가 취준도 산지디 까마레스 태고치부 산지 까마레스는 순간 직. 태고치부 나는 이네 상아 네 산지 취 마레스 무디고 취레스는 순간 직 용되기도 와. 자 디리 인산의 제를 붙이기 대실 깨기 로준 된다 남다 리베 로준 믹종라 패기고에 깨버 민으베 땜벤나랑 예버 땜부 철 신송도가 상에 유시래들이 가서 남다 룽기 로준 믹종라 뭐송체 남다 리베 로준 믹종라 신송도가 그래서 경제 잡아치는 삼당 도신다 셰트고 거려마도 롱점 장의 샤베 있는데 되게 말해 저도 송도가 그래서 어디 시험하시샤. 그래서다 아는 게 이슈가 지금이니. 가려야지. 이제 그런 처리다. 제사와 들이 인도다 지로다 통준라면도 용도보다 디디 난가르디 땅도 되기 시작이. 저부 산계의 사이. 저부 산계의 사라 빨리 흉나는 산계 있고 산계 좀 된데 뭐 문진다데 맨다 지겨래. 레자가 흉나로 구시더니 산제 소아래 디 좀zen 망상다도아 다 구시더니 산제 사지 태고 준비 흉나로 송셔버디 컨데스 죽으레스 러이나 퍼진 태베 람리아 아니 머리 바자가 사다 사메이라는 주에 이지런신 루사 이루시게야래 자좀 졸이야 자주모 레다 자주 숨스르래 제니와 딘제기 이류디 산적살다 다 이게 가서 전주선배 딘제기 이류디 산적살 장신 박배 이류디 산적살 아주 숨겨但디 두 머리 바자가 살에 깨배 인상 머리 바자가 살에 깨배 이류지 집어 타다 방배 툭다 모예면 줘서 가오로 그래서 자 딘제 인도산에 다 구시 남샤 지금 맨드는 다 그래마도 구시 남샤시 내가 얘는 나 라메기 슝네 송샤베 룽스비 게메기 남샤가 때문에 구시 주야 송샤봤다 텔 때나 뭐네 지금 내봐야지 텔 맞는 내봐야 가고 싶어 아니 롱네 송버스 러시아마다 하람 가고 그래 그다 딘제 인도 가서 다한테 되기 시작해 총에 대바로 까바로 용대바 디디기 내 지침부 태야리야 땅 알라메게 남디리 터도 땅 알라메게 남디리 내가 쉬쉬래샤 다디 루루야세기 제셰견셔디디 하 레베스 오르샤
So there are some people who say that religion is to oppress people, and so they criticize religions. And then within the religious people, there are some who say that, for example, I have a friend, a Christian friend, who once told me, he was a very good practitioner himself, a very good Christian, but then he said to me that Buddhism doesn't really have much reason to prove its teachings, whereas there are many that Christianity is full of reason, and so there are people who criticize Buddhism, seeing that it doesn't have any reason to prove. And then within Buddhism, there are some who say that the Pali tradition is the actual teaching of the Buddha, whereas the Mahayana is not. And then within the Mahayana teaching, some say that although that of the Tantra is not a teaching of the Buddha, and so when you have so many different views from different people, generally of religion and particularly of Buddhism and Mahayana, what we have to know is we have to find a very firm conviction in the teaching of the Buddha by using our intelligence and training ourselves to develop that of the wisdom eye through reasoning. So this is what Lama Tsongkhapa says. He doesn't say that we have to develop this eye of wisdom through scriptural, by resorting to scripture, but by reason. So it's very important to use reason in establishing the teachings of the Buddha. And of course, according to the Pali system, the tradition, there is the mention of attainment of Buddhahood, but then it is within the Sanskrit tradition where there is mention of the four bodies of a Buddha. And so the four bodies of the Buddha are taught in the perfection vehicle as well. But then, according to the perfection vehicle, what is said is that the four bodies of the Buddha are attained through the Buddha's body is called attained through what is known as the mental body, which has arisen, or which is the product of the imprint of that of ignorance. And so this doesn't really become compatible cause for the Buddha's body, which is totally free from all kinds of defilements, all kinds of shortcomings, whereas this kind of mental body is still based on the imprint of ignorance. So and this you posit, you accept the four kayas. If you do accept four kayas, then you have to understand it based on the highest yoga tantra.
主席这些学过打卦手这也可以，他的谢谢我。 탑사도 쓰여야 돼. 다 주시 중립하면도 차선 말이 상 칼라 처리 중에서 뒤쪽에 남사 즉做的 맞아.
So the explanation of highest yoga tantra is done very profoundly by Master Nagarjuna. And His Holiness is saying that to the cooks, don't, since we will not be able to finish this initiation before 12 o'clock, around 12 o'clock, don't cook your food too early. Otherwise, it will all go mushy.
레시치 되는 거 같이 고르기. 난 라도한테 이 깨기도 전에 싶이 고르기. 가슴에 ཉ 거래. 깨기도 전에 이기로 흘려 싶을로기. 저상가 이제 먼저 이기로 랑에 흘려줄 때 그래 이기로요. 이거 꺼게고요. 제가 그래서 다 가서 꺼게서.
So while giving this kind of initiation, if I do not give any explanation, that doesn't sound right. But if I give explanations, then it takes a long time. And then in the case of translators, they read their notes rather very slowly, and so therefore we have a saying in Tibetan: when someone reads the letters very slowly, you will ask whether they are actually reading or they are inscribing the letters on something.
다 거배왕기 아랑에 대다 긴고 라마 긴고 조다 예매도 여 사바체 네다 되게 다지권 단 등기 주베 그돌라 엔 담은 직접 맞았음제 요래 그래서 엔다 샤가 주식 것이 뒤 샤고 가들 향수 여 사바체 다 되냐 이는 왕需要 된다리야 manage 비교 사바체 쇼로가 비비스텐션 되리.
And so, in order to take the initiation, begin the initiation, first of all, you have to imagine. First of all, you have to imagine the master as the main deity in the mandala, just as I have visualized myself or generated myself into that of the main deity of the mandala. And so, imagine that you are at the eastern door, outside the eastern door, and make this mandala offering. Nirami Shengen de Gemba de Sanje Shindo Migde Bawaye and Rogunanda Shimba Chaba Shoy Nam Guru and Mandala Kamnia Tayami.
Nag any Nyamlin chicken and on the coast of one sugar di Samlin area, she Tsendi, that she said what the name about the shit in Rigi Chedo, one share sort of do no longer at the dish to somebody in Digmaris. 공단음식 뒤숭이야래. 아다 나 지지야다 가서 지사는데 산den신이 시매장 축배 저에 맞은 말 표신 저에 때는 시도 색지 동안이었어. 규칙이 디신 상아 거주에 가이나 다시 동시지 이나야 애네 상아 책이다 지 견시를 부셔서 차려야 되는 문제들이 있어요. 그래서 공단음식이 딘 저버리 디다 탄다도만 전에 상아 대양 책이 견시다 세다 누주 온도 문주서 센데 차라코는 겨와니 사조 전된 소라를 현대에 최진에 손주고 마치 안 손도가. 그래서 그는 타협에 심지어 다다가 된다라 남기 계획 고방 터버 쇼지 대체동의 왕슈 삼십고요.
So the practitioners of Tantra, or in our case here now, those who are taking the Tantric initiation, you should not take the initiation with the motivation to have long life or to be to cure your sicknesses, not to have sicknesses, and to make profit, wealth, and so forth. But you have to think of in terms of benefiting all sentient beings. So in order to benefit all sentient beings who are limitless like the space, you have to take the initiation. Gongda Rinpoche has said that you should not use the tantra for some temporary goals like overcoming sicknesses and having long life and making riches and so forth, because if you do so, then it would be like turning sandalwood into a coal. And so have this highest motivation of bodhichitta within yourself and listen to His Holiness and think that you are being instructed to do so.
Ngalada nga sea de condition samstonda kasindabre nga sea de zuzu se medebechi mada majabe nga yore 당시 전 nga singe de nangzam te masimbar nga sea de condition samdana niamdoga 자자가 다기 고대 나슬럽도 지금 zuzu se yewe 소르시 롤 셰기도데 자가 치면은 zuzu se medo 차용도와 어떤지 딘디디 nga 요아레디 민거왕의 여sam시 마도 단기 뭐 좀해봤지 다 타치버리 딘제인도 단기 뭐 주변 나매 삼시다 나는 심매 삼시 삼시다
And so, first of all, think of yourself, and then think where you are. So when you think where you are, you check within yourself. What you'll find is that you'll not be able to find anything that you can point to as being yourself as such. Although there is this mere appearance of yourself, when you do not do any kind of critical inquiry into yourself, just leaving it at a conventional level, there is a self. Which is merely, which exists merely by name, in name. But if you try to check with where you are within your psychophysical aggregates, and then you will not be able to find yourself. So that doesn't deny the existence of the self as such, but that it shows that it doesn't have any existence from its own side. So meditate on this, that you do not exist from your own side, that you don't have any self-nature, and within and from within that emptiness, you imagine that it transforms into a chandrisic. So you transform from that emptiness into chandrisic with one face, two hands.
Lama 계시게 바바전에 시장이에 나바전도 교루 다 소하다바 와나라나 스트림버리 소하다바디 진진주.
So please repeat these lines of request.
가진kö다 담바디
가진kö다 담바디
로면kö네 공소수 전주 전부 최된바 공부 전부 다살로 탐지 din이 달라서 전주 삼자 달라서 산제셔다 견되대 접순 다자 달라서 타바 전부 종소도 공부단의 슈도서 공부단의 슈도서 공부단의 슈도서 다 디젤이야 다 nga mebat tempush kugre sin sungyare ta gyumje thegi lab satkitre.
And then next is asking the disciples to have a very firm faith in tantra.
상하저와 냠매버 관계자자 생겨서 전원진에 되게 메시지 보도전 좀 시든지 조도는 골로고는 양한테 대군요 도저 부유로전 되게 시 다 대절이야 또 보송이야 다디 돈도 안데 샴데 무식을 용인자 안데 무거체 다 로마 제네시 시시찬이 버 세베 닝거 홍 짐버 아마고 닝걸 홍모 드버 아마고 애니 조 콜로 깔고 가서 조는 엄 깔고 지게 참바 교소 삼바치아 애니게 추두스 렉바 땅가 체인을 전에 와 고숨 진질럽디 저부 산제게 사이 고숨 투숨는 교야기 진질 깨와전도 셔서 삼바치아
Next is that of the taking the Bodhisattva vow, but we'll do this during the actual initiation. But here, having arisen into the deity generistic with one face, two arm, now imagine that at your heart there's a blue hum syllable, at your throat a red R syllable, and then at your forehead imagine a white Om syllable. And then when I sprinkle the water, blessed water from the vase, imagine that you are blessed, and so that your body, speech, and you are blessed to transform your body, speech, and mind into the body, speech, and mind of Buddha. So this leaves the imprint for that.
다 홉숭서로 채버리 다 도선님이 홉숭서로 채니 홉 당구 류지트마 니베 나게트마 수베 이지트마 타버샤서 삼시야 대 동문이 된다 로를 샤르신베 타네 추동야 그렇지.
And then next you'll be given a handful of water. So you have to take this water in 3 sips. So during the first sip, you imagine that the negativities of body are cleansed, and then during the second, the negativities of the speech, and then during the third, the negativities of your mind are cleansed. These should in turn be imagined within the understanding of emptiness. So remembering or recalling emptiness, you have to think so. And next, His Holiness says that there's no need to give out the kusha grass here, and also there's not actually need of to distribute the protective cord, but I usually give it this out, so you'll get the protection cords.
지대에 좀 내군이나 와라가 좀 미주지 우동 와르마도 제가 자만은 내가 지금 그래서 내냐면 양은 메다 저번에 가서 상하집에 수행 좀 어때 가지고 신도 그냥 개발자와도 모르고 되고 그러면서 기본적으로 동아에 다들 전유나 다와다 양아 집에서 만나 보면 저 제가 상하는 안에 고바나 뭐저 나가는 게 그러시는데만 되는 게는 좀 양으로 양다지 되는지 뭐지 나와지면 되니 바냐면 매저나도 같은 저서 이제 되는 거 용조소 내버려 지원지원에 대진하는 전화를 고지원지도 주로 대고저버전 바로 내가 그 지전으로 왜 관계전으로 왜 대신 시작을 주로와 인 세네다 다리 밀루도 산제게 때마다제 대나는 나게 때마다자와 겨상고래 다 때마 용수소버디 냠내 야고 셰투나 남지자요 고마 달라도 톡톡으로 소리.
And so, having found this precious human life now, and having met with the Dharma, and particularly that of the Tantra, if you are able to make this human life meaningful, then you will be able to reach that of the enlightenment rather with ease. Please repeat these.
다 리시기 팔라 긴곡을 하는 통도 미루어 인도 이네 미더지 뭐 임바래 슈고 이네 긴곡에 미더 세니 긴곡은 나로 슈는 하나도 제 내가라 이네 뇌야가 메다가 정하는 지준에 매번주.
So, since for the time being you are not allowed to see the deities of the mandala, you are given this blindfold to symbolize that. And then you will also be given just imagine that you are also given a garland of flower, which you'll use to offer it to the deities when you actually enter the mandala and see them. Hold your hands in this gesture, which is called the lotus mudra. Hold this at your heart and repeat this mantra. So this is the lotus lineage mudra.
Om Bema Ubawai Soha.
Om Bema Ubawai Soha.
Oh yeah, that's it. That digital is
Next is the Bodhisattva taking the Bodhisattva vows.
Dombasunga any Kanda Kashuri. Sanga that Choga Samanali on the Yari. And a part of the Shimbe Tebe College in Joseph Dombasunga Yari. Now under the that Jingo Choga and David on the Joseph Dombasunga. That's another any Duna any Jingo has what it said earlier to the Chadon Jandon, the Chashi, Dametendo, any shot of medieval origin do as a number of the child to turn to the Vameg or Yaring a year Sabachita, any tea, Tenga Nagalia, any Sanja set a year Sabache, Lulu Solati, some of the years Sabache, that Tenam Gitonia changes in the Tobasunyari. That's just about Tobasundan careers Lona. Any Chosum, Josun draw. There is a tumor in bed, I jump to Chenny, any Dodigan and so on and Shingi, and Mipokundu draw, and the Sanja Torture Calambada, and the Chanju dog by Cabata, the decision soon de Agi, Gundun daughter, Calin daughter, Cinema, and so on and Shingi, the Nedivita. That you never do. That kind of teaching will be jumping on Sangi Tony, Jobson draw, want to down there. That target must be just Tamji to Soba Sanji Koban, which you talk about Chow, Yam to Member Simchiki. Then I didn't do Sanji Koban Toyaga to Dalia, Nature Sempe Java, part of the symbol took the doing over she said to Teddy, or that maybe that tuition to looking in such. Oh, that didn't do Sempe Java D, that was so severe. So soon as she changes the Jabati, that suition to living done, doing she with your set of Javanagi, Chidder took it, Chidder level, and she target and looking, Sachiki. She just a lover, Kala, Tamjang to Zane, and she just a Tobasuya Chandu Yari. The day you doing it, she just a Tobasung Yabashe. She just a Tobasumi, Jabatata, looking, Sambe, or somebody dead with a Simbeton, she just a Tobasuya in that.
So now imagine, and of course this comes in all tantras, taking the bodhisattva vows, all tantra the classes, and even in the Sutrayana. And so here, in order to take the bodhisattva vows, imagine that in the mandala, in the center there is a Chandrisik with 1,000-armed, 1,000-eyed Chandrisik, and then to his in the eastern side, on the eastern side of the mandala, the Akshobhya, and southern side Ratnasambhava, western the Virachana, and then the northern side Amoka Siddhi. And so these are the 5 deities in the mandala. And so and then in the space above them and around them, you imagine the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. So with this visualization, then think that you are going to first generate bodhichitta within yourself, and with all the different causal factors complete, and then also all the different visualizations, you imagine, you bring up this bodhichitta within yourself, thinking that you wish to become a Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings. And so, having generated bodhichitta, then you think of following all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of the past who have taken generated bodhicitta and then engaged in the Bodhisattva practices such as the 6 perfection and 4 ways of attracting disciples. And so think of taking determine that you will take the Bodhisattva vows and engage in the Bodhisattva practices just like the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of the past have done. And here His Holiness will again think that your 3 syllables Om Ahum are blessed again. And now kneel on your right knee, please. So please repeat these lines. Kunjo sumla dagyabchi. Kunjo sumla dagyabchi. Are di gyuryo be. Sholo ga jigre sholo ga sumjayo. Save the koki. Sumjayo be. Chendisha ya. Kunjo sumla dagyabchi. Kunjo sumla dagyabchi. Dibwa tamje sososha. Dibwa tamje sososha. Gyala jeyirang. Sanje changju yige song. Sanje chodang changjo. Changju pado dagyabchi. Changju pado dagyabchi. Rashentene rabduche. Rashentene rabduche. Changju simne gebargi. Changju choge simne gegene. Simjen tamje dage dendo nye. Changju cheshong yingon jebargi. Jola penje sanje roba sho. So again have the firm determination to take the Bodhisattva vows and also to engage in the practices of Bodhisattvas. I go for refuge in the true jewels. I confess individually all my negativities. I rejoice in the merit of migrating beings. I take hold in my mind the perfect state of Buddha. I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. And I do so to attain an enlightened mind. In order to fulfill the aims of myself and others, I shall develop a supreme enlightened motive. And towards all sentient beings, my invited guests, I shall act with supreme enlightened conduct. May I become a Buddha to benefit all. At the end of the 3rd repetition, feel convinced that you have received the Bodhisattva vows. So Bodhisattva vows comprise of the 18 root downfalls and then the 46 secondary vows, infractions. I go for refuge to the 3 jewels. I confess individually my negativities. I rejoice in the merits of all beings. I take hold of my perfect state of Buddhahood. I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, and I do so to attain an enlightened mind. In order to fulfill the aims of myself and others, I shall develop a supreme enlightened motive, and towards all beings, my invited guests, I shall act with supreme enlightened conduct. May I become a Buddha to benefit all. Please sit down. So in Bodhisattva Charya Avatara, it is said that today my life has become fruitful. and
다들
human
탐정은 좀
life,
섬겨야 된다.
I
다
have
이게 산계지
attained a
보면
good human life,
타야하게
and after
그
that it says I will
힘을
I will engage in the practices of
전족심이
the bodhisattvas.
수구주야게 그 소로 탑고 소로부터 전족심제 아니 진속 탑디체 아니 이시축구주야게 랑든 추구사 이시축구주야게 그 소디 동요도 베시럽디 차디야래 다 딩잉이야 즉 세담의 공국이야다
And so in the case of Buddhahood, there are two bodies, the form body and Dharmakaya. The form body comes from that of the bodhichitta and the skillful means, and then the Dharmakaya comes from the wisdom of emptiness.
다잖아 되게 공도를 넣으신게 아니 답의 신실을 창조지선 세대하되 다 내가도 더더욱이 너전 주야 지 심기 동에서 안에 송원지 더더욱이 시시 동에 타달래벽에다 저체하게 다 가서 우리 그게 탑 초도 기부터 차대요래 대안에 진주는 소원은 시리 지된 동에 진예바 대교장도 늘려줘 지된 대화 진예바 대교션도 늘려줘 망도 샤도 지시고 집어랑 그 텐시도 투버션이 텐서가 니기네 캬버도 소원은 신게 땅 안서 동에 믿어 대화되면 참을로 요아래 다 맞아 야 접선도 산지 좀 된데 생애디 당분인의 상제버지는 말에 맞아는 신지기 쉬고 있는 경고성이 된 거데 차버래 다데 더 강거 잡으려나 답의 신집을 chanjuksim nyamshin 나네 다 경고성이 된 건데 차버래 다 맞아 좀 된데 전자래 좀 된데 겹치기 하래 다 좀 된데 그 남든 나셔버 대당도 러보래 되게 이번 인도잖아요. 되게 이번 인도 코랑게 냠용부터 하네. 다 되게 공부시버는 시 개발도 뭐 저거서 전화는 이파버 수원은 시 지금 이번 인도잖아요. 땅에 밀루토 산지게 담바든지 아니 담바대야 배 태고시중 아서 차선 담바듯이 제를 검들라 땅에 최진이 부창주고 곰 사바 셰체 아니 타에 심지어 다다 같은 놈 남디게요 고만 터버 쇼지 터버 차오 냐면 로시 깨쇼가
Now we're going to meditate on bodhicitta for 1 minute. And so bodhicitta, as I explained earlier, is this factor which will helps to overcome all kinds of our shortcomings, defilements, or faults, such as those of the mental sicknesses, and then finally leading us out of samsara and even the extreme of nirvana. And so it is the best, highest kind of means to attain all kinds of goals, or finally leading to enlightenment of Buddhahood. And Shantideva says, whatever happiness there is in the world comes from wishing others to be happy, and whatever suffering there is in the world comes from shortcomings or misfortunes there are in the world. They come from wishing oneself to be happy. And so what needs is there to say more, look at the difference between the childish who are engrossed in their own self-interest, and look at the Buddhas who have become enlightened, thinking of others. And so such a state of Buddhahood where you have overcome all faults, and you are endowed with all good qualities, comes from this bodhicitta. And so Buddhas have not become, were not Buddhas right from the beginning, but they have become Buddha through training. And so you have to think that you will train yourself following the footsteps of the Buddha. So think of that you have attained this human life and met with the Buddhism, and to make this life meaningful, think of becoming a Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings. Meditate on bodhicitta.
Tantra 두번인데 semjik 계셔고 semjik 계셔버티 아니 런지 제네스스 인간이야 여가고 고시도 교수 삼지야
Now imagine that this bodhichitta that you have generated transforms into a white ball of light or disk of light at your heart. You yourself have, or you are imagining yourself as Chandrasik. So at the heart of Chandrasik, you have this white light. And next is a meditation on emptiness.
So that thagi kondo lawana shin nga sayajida nga khana dina takwe phungso cheda ya jana 곰 탑제 산지지 고반다 탑지가 람다 대 탐제로 다들 자는 이게 매대 지기 로리아 지샤체 다 당에 가서 러임바 땡진저원 중원거 대내 동원이도 있어야지 장소 로 주요메 다 살지기야 껴다
And then think of yourself, I, or the aggregates and other phenomena, as well as the Buddha and the state of Buddhahood, and then also that of the path leading to Buddhahood. If you critically analyze them, then you will not find them. So, as I said yesterday, do you know that? Do you have these verses in your mind? Whatever is dependently arisen, that is said to be emptiness. Whatever that is extended to be emptiness, that being a dependent designation, is itself the middle way. That which is not dependently originated stages, such a thing does not exist. Therefore, that which is not empty, such a thing does not exist. So you have really memorized well. Said.
다들 인다를 했던 거다. 그래서 이게 전주선 기아 스케줄 봐. 디체. 아니 안 되디. 이게 런을 좀 사면서 디직체. 동력이 나왔지. 디 스케줄이 감동서로 시지. 별로 예배도리야. 이지 미지 다 핑그리.
So these two verses and the verse that we used for generating bodhichitta, these should be recited on a daily basis.
다 쳐도 정신이 주변 땡제 잡을 중앙 인상 정신이 주변 동아래 선의 타 전의 송셔버다 디 섬리에 즉 샤워체체 다지 검쇼.
So have a clear idea of the fact that things are dependently arisen, that shows that they are empty of any inherent nature. So have a very clear idea of the things being empty of any inherent nature in your mind. And meditate on emptiness.
대달 땡지 잡을 중앙이 뭐 규생기 러시 주변 동타 최대의 로데 러시 주변 동아래 사바 타 최대의 로데니 아니 도지 갈고 생각봐 된지기야 규르제 되게 뉴욕이 구조 전주고 쓰는 그 정신 다외 경고 삼대가 디테일이야 릉도수 야 커서 삼아지야.
Now this understanding of emptiness, which has arisen through the reasoning of dependent arising, this wisdom of emptiness, now imagine that it transforms into a vajra, a five-spoked vajra, standing on the moon, which is that of the conventional bodhicitta at your heart in the form of light. And so imagine this vajra standing on the light at your heart.
전주선 니부티 나와도지 숙수해가지 곰네 데네마랑데 오래 땅야란다 데레마랑데 니버시 중데마 소수 닝걸마 나와도지 세트바 데레마 팀체 아니 가담버셔서 삼바시 딩야라 다한테 sem께바디 튜남도야 메당 숭기인 세네 아니 캘린샤다 캘린 탐저샤 식디 전도치쇼 하냐라.
And so first, we'll repeat these lines of affirming the bodhichitta within ourselves, that you will not never let it go, and that you will never lose the bodhichitta within yourself. And to promise to make this pledge, we'll use this, repeat certain lines after His Holiness. And then after that, you imagine that. Please repeat. Om Sarva Yoga Citta. Upatayami.
Om Sarva Yoga Citta.
Om Sarva Yoga Citta.
Upatayami.
Upatayami.
Om Sarva Yoga Citta.
Om Sarva Yoga Citta.
Upatayami.
Upatayami.
Om Sura de Samayadam, O Zedemeza Om Sura de Samayadam, O Zedemeza.
And also imagine that the Vajra and lights that you have imagined at your heart, a similar Vajra and light is at the heart of the Guru, and from there comes a replica of the Vajra and light, and dissolves into the Vajra and light at your heart and stabilizes them. So So you should meditate on these two types of bodhicitta, the conventional and ultimate bodhicitta, on a daily basis. So what we have gone through now is that of the meditation on the all-encompassing yoga. So even when you are mentally disturbed, leave it aside for a while and meditate on these two bodhicittas. And then after you have finished your meditation, then you may call back your anger or disturbed mind.
Oh, yeah.
Now imagine that you are entering the mandala. You have entered the mandala and you are inside the mandala. And imagine that you are making 3 rounds to inside the mandala to the deities. Please repeat. Maharagda, please repeat. Sunlinda. Sudoku. Susuku. Benzasado. Adisidimam. Maharagda. Sunlinda. Susuku. Susuku. Benzasado. Adisidimam. Maharagda. Sundinda. Susuku. Susuku. Benzasado. Adisidimam. So touch your folded hands at your crown, on your crown, and repeat this. Om Namate Hum. Touch it at your throat. Namamehum. Touch your heart. Namo Namahum Soha. Now again repeat these lines to request the descent of the wisdom beings. Tujichambo, Dala Abrzedusu. Tujichambo, Dala Abrzedusu. Tujichambo, Dala Abrzedusu.
Lama Genesis Tuge Chi Vesegi, Yawa Seja Tamjalo, Papa Genesis Guza, and Sung Yingju, and 2 chancing a number, 7, the dragon number of Sushunde, and Lame Lunga Isulama, Timney, and Sanje Chita, Hawa in the Papa Genesis, Kusum Chino Molu, around Toso, Yabachisha.
Now imagine that the blessings of the body, speech and mind of all the Chandrasik are invoked, and so rays of light go out and they invoke the blessings of the body, speech and mind of all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, and they come in the form of Chandrasik and the mantras of Chandrasik, and then also the symbols of Chandrasik representing the body, speech and mind of Chandrasik. So imagine that you are receiving these blessings. Blessings of the mind come in the form of syllables, seed syllables, and also the symbols. Stabilizing the blessing. So now what you have to do is cover your eyes slightly and just slightly lift up the blindfold and look up in the space and see what colors appear to you. Sometimes it happens that different colors would appear. So please repeat this mantra, imagining that you are going round the mandala deities 3 times. 3 bazakota, hayagirba, hululumbe. 3 bazakota, hayagirba, hululumbe. 3 bazakota, hayagirba, hululumbe.
다데네 로메 리카리임바데 메돈데 체발테네 다셴야치 심버치기 하래 근데 인도 냐는 라메 소하다야 투주여나 라메 긴고 düne야 소하다야 다 투주여 말이 저자는 게지 시간에 뭐람적인다 가달로메 리카리임바데 메돈데 체발테네 인세고 영어 쇼 사실이
And so what I will say is this ritual, the meaning of this is that actually the Lama has to go to the mandala and check this. Now here what is being checked is which kind of the Buddha lineage the disciples belong to. And to become that clear, the Lama has to throw the flower in the mandala and check. But because we don't have the time here, I'm just going to do it from the throne. So when the abbot throws the flower in the mandala, all the monks and nuns imagine that you are also throwing your flower in the mandala to check which lineage you belong to. Repeat this mantra, please. Monks and nuns. All the monks and nuns, repeat this. Praise of Dependent And now the lay people, imagine that you are throwing your flower in the mandala and repeat this mantra. Praise of Dependent
야야 러준조 메도 장라포 든주구식 아무것이다 김바 저 대가사 로 린주구식 제제 다 러준조 민디 된다 동요도지 김바주 민디 린신도지
And so for the monks and nuns, your flower fell in the northern direction, which is that of Amoga Siddhi. The deity is Amoga Siddhi. So your sacred name is going to be Amoga Vajra. Whereas for the lay people, the flower fell to the south, and which is that of in the direction of Ratna Sambhava. So your sacred name is Ratna Vajra. So now where the flower, imagine that you have the flower that you offered up to the mandala deities is being given back to you, and after blessing them, and so imagine that you are wearing the flower on your heads. So put the flower on your head. So this is the initiation of the flower garland. Now at your heart, at you as Chandrasik, imagine the Hung at your heart, Ram at your throat, and at your forehead. Now take off the blindfold. Remove the blindfold. Now imagine that you are able to see the entire mandala and the deities directly. So with regard to the initiation, there are two initiations here. One is that of the empowerment for purifying all the defilements. Having purified all the defilements, what you attain is that of the Dhammakaya. So that is the initiation of water. And then having purified all negativities, what you also attain is that of the form body of a Buddha to serve sentient beings. So in order to attain that, you receive that of the crown initiation. And so imagine that the deities initiation deities come forth and bestow initiation upon you. So now imagine that the special potency or imprint is left in your mind for you to be able to purify all your defilements and attain that of Dharmakaya. So from the depth of your heart, make this prayer or request for the crown initiation. We do not need to repeat the lines of His Holiness. Now imagine that the initiation deities come forth and bestow the initiation, the crown initiation upon you, thereby leaving this imprint or the potential within you, your mind stream, to attain that of the Buddha's form body.
ring에 산제 뉴도 도버를 줘 오모라나 무고를 받아보다 여기서 오모라나 무고를 받아보다 여기서 오모라나 무고를 받아보다 여기서 오모라나 무고를 받아보다 여기서 미 제다도 보면 나는 어디다 오모라나 비긴 사마야 시제 아오 시제 주는 왕고 려장아 도로는 주는 주는 저번에 진지 중대 요 가사 주는 주로 내가 용서 줄발래 디시버 링에 오지안 버려 줄 라마도 조다면 되베도 버리 왕을 저는 정말 우리 버거는 템버를 줄 오면서 왔다가 알아가 봐한테 베베 알고 걔는 찾아보지 정소가 되다 주변에 왕도 정말 공원에 요람 참마다 제변에 저거는 와저도 수요 공주변도 제바 전 좋고 나나나야 나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나나nagarjuna
Please repeat this mantra for the mantra initiation. Namarandaya, Namaya,
야나사가라
Sagara,
베로자나
Veruzana,
보요와라자야
Varyarazaya,
타다가다야
Tadagataya. Please use the
그다야
text that
나마사와
was distributed.
타다가다베 아라하덴베
Arahatibe,
사야삼
Samaya Sam,
베딘베
Udebe,
나마아야
Namarya,
아왈로그데
Avalokite,
샤라야
Shoraya,
부티사도야
Bodhisattva,
마하사도야
Mahasatoya,
마하거루니가야
Makarunikaya,
때야타
Tayata,
어머 따라따라
Daradara,
데리데리
Diritiri,
두루두루
Duruduru,
에레와데
Etevati,
살레살레
Salizale,
파살레
Razale,
파살레
Razale,
구스메
Kusome,
구스메 와레
Sumewale,
일리멜레
Elemeti,
시든자라
Sidizola,
아바나의 사하
Panayeswa,
다 송신 사식 튜브체 다 되네 머니다 엄마니 빼매홍
Om Mani Padme Hum,
엄마니 빼매홍
Om Mani Padme Hum,
엄마니 빼매홍
Om Mani Padme Hum.
다들 나와 주버리 좀 대한들어 자연들 넘어가자도
Mantra initiation.
다 지나 지마라 또 콜로니아 비전이면 먼저 좀내 좀 콜로 그래서 이런 양하다 알려 주면 좀 그래서 바가라 양하다 알려 주면 시기는 보자 되는 좀 제가서 주는 그네서 가는 최기 콜로 거라기 단에 이걸로는 유랑아 다 이제 뭐 요새 뭐도 하는 예장 되는 송수는 지지를 요즘은 좋아지는 일이 좋아져 두고 보는 결로 저 셈에서보다 하얀 거 홀로 홍배 어머서 뭐 이런 거도 뭐 손바와지도 한 동반이도 최저 동반이도 주로 동반하네 엄내 주미지 좀 뭐지 너든 당신 타고하면 뭐 이시ran 신장 당만에 주면 자식에서 저 돈님 집에서 사주에 되다 담보를 주로 주소제와 군제가와에 대해서는 아주 진짜는 왕고 지나는 바주죠 sab다라나 에베케산미 거절저 소리를 좀 미시 군제 변소 조소 저는 저저 담배 원고를 결련 봐주죠 어머 에타바담베 망갈로 에베케산미 대다수들에게 쉐도 저러면서 저 나오면 이제 좀 왕고 뭐 저 레시 그는 되는 거죠 그래서 쇼크는 좀 관심도 좀 깨와장도 차서 나왕 스머리 제니다 做完的特别需要给长久生活要的动力国家的他做起来，哎这个年头里啊，那说是旅出国里啊，这个山那路的，哎点点money，这个全国就是长途的要的。
So with this we are finished with the initiation. Now, as per the practice, you should make your main practice that of the cultivation of bodhichitta and the wisdom of emptiness, and then on top of that, imagine rise into deity yourself, generate into a deity, and then on a daily basis recite the Om Mani Padme Hum mantra, one round of mala.
차르지 엔창도 초터는 뒤되고 멍구실래되샤 엔창 사고노다 최세야디 심균두야 된다래 근데 이번 인도산에 아니 뒤균되네 소소 심균두 접체 심균 쪽에는 녀목치기하래 녀목이 상황도 못도 녀목 당도 mel레 녀목이 상황도 못도 다시 개치부샤래 대 상면 공부장 엔다이
And so many people have come to this teaching from different parts of the world. And so what you need to know is that the Dharma, what means transformation of the mind, and therefore you have to try to your best to overcome the destructive emotions which actually disturb our mind.
是吧？any challenge, and tamsi samari, challenge melo yautyo, and a pamper ring to tongue, didn't shoot like a jibbly.
So people have requested to offer a long life puja for His Holiness, and we'll do some prayer.
Ninde Jambade, Sanje Shindo, Mide Uaye, Rogan Namda Shingla Chavara Shaw, Changa Chimbu Dayene, Simje Dunga Tajishu, Galva Chawa, Samyeso, Chudun Zejin Shugoroji, Changa Chimbu Dayene, Simje Dunga Tajishu, Galva Chawa, Samyeso, Chudun Zejin Shugoroji, Changa Chimbu Dayene, Simje Dunga Tajishu, Galva Chawa, Samyeso, Chudun Zejin Shugoroji, Edam Guru Rana Mandala Nea Daria Me.